Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Russ Riesinger.
And I'm Janelle Slade. Local law enforcement and search crews are back out combing the Missouri River and property just south of Great Falls tonight.
Search efforts resumed this morning for 34-year-old Great Falls nurse Amy Harding, who's been missing since Sunday night.
Well, that story in just a moment, but first some breaking news out of Glendive tonight.
An Absaroka man accused of running over and killing another man almost 7 years ago has been found not guilty. Michael Holtz was charged in the death of Forrest Dana in 2013 during the annual Absaroka Day celebration. That trial was moved to Glendive because the defense successfully argued that Holtz could not get a fair trial in Stillwater County.
According to the Glendive Ranger Review, Holtz was cleared on all 3 charges of negligent homicide, tampering with evidence, and failure to remain at the scene of an accident involving another person. Now, Holtz's attorney argued that no reasonable person would have noticed Dana passed out on the ground and also questioned the timeline putting Holtz at the scene.
After deliberating for about 5 hours, jurors returned the not guilty verdict.
Well, tomorrow morning, the public will join the search for a missing Great Falls woman who was last seen on Sunday just south of town.
Amy Elaine Harding, also known as Amy Perman, reportedly walked away from her home around 8:30 Sunday night, heading toward the Missouri River. Cascade County Sheriff Jesse Slaughter says deputies responded to that home on Flood Road that night after a 911 call for a disturbance.
The sheriff says Amy got into an argument with her boyfriend, John Van Gilder, and allegedly assaulted him before leaving the house.
We will have the appropriate investigators and evidence recovery teams there as well. But this is what we're asking for the public for their assistance, and that's going to be our rally point tomorrow. And so I wanted to push this out to the public because we are asking for their help.
Now, the search will open to the public tomorrow morning with a briefing at 7:30 a.m.
Searchers need to be 18 or older with an ID, in good physical condition, and need to wear some kind of reflective clothing if possible.
Well, 25 small Native American businesses all across Montana are getting a boost. The Indian Equity Fund is a grant program set up to do just that. In western Montana, a tour business in Ronan is using that money to help grow its business. MTN's Connor McCauley reports.
The Indian Equity Fund matches investments made by small Native American-run businesses into their own companies. Governor Bullock announced recipients of the fund that ranges between $7,000 and $14,000 earlier this month. The Water People Tours in Ronan will be one of those recipients. Owners Lewis and Kia Camel say the grant is crucial to their business's future.
The one-to-one match is very helpful. We have assets that we can use as match, or a dollar-to-dollar in-kind match, and it helps us immensely because it allows us an opportunity to be able to invest more into our business.
Water People Tours gives tours of areas like Glacier National Park, the National Bison Range, Flathead Lake, and the Mission Mountain Range, connecting Native American heritage to these culturally significant areas. They hope that with the help of the grant, they can add on to their campsite, enticing more people to take their tours and spread the history of their culture.
I think it's very important, because you don't read the stuff in school books. We get it from our ancestors. Mm-hmm. It's brought down generation to generation. We're here, and we like the people know who we are, and not what textbooks explain how we are.
The Camels will take the IEF funds and use it to spread the history of their culture, while the grant helps spread local Native-run businesses on tribal lands across the state.
I would like to start seeing more Native American-owned businesses, and I think that we're kind of setting the groundwork for that and kind of pioneering that as business owners. And we just appreciate all the help that we've had and the support in the community and stuff, and especially the IEF grant. It's been very helpful, and I'm very thankful for it.
Now they just want people to come to the camp.
I hope everyone has a good time at the camp.
Good. In Polson, Connor McCauley, MTN News.
Thanks, Connor. Now here in our viewing area, several small businesses received grants spanning from Billings all the way to Ashland.
America's favorite pastime could become history in Billings and many other cities if a plan by Major League Baseball to eliminate 42 minor league clubs becomes a reality. Members of Congress, including Montana's lone representative, are trying to step up to the plate to save the game. Congressman Greg Gianforte joined a bipartisan group of 65 lawmakers, introducing a resolution urging Major League Baseball to maintain the current minor league structure rather than proceed with its consolidation plan. Gianforte said in a statement that Montana's minor league baseball teams contribute to our sense of community, support local businesses, and create jobs, as well as being a source of community pride. Major League Baseball has yet to make a decision on what to do about that proposal and has made it clear that any changes will not be made until after this coming season, maybe longer.
Well, the Bureau of Business and Economic Research at the University of Montana in Missoula began its 45th annual Economic Outlook series today. The big concern this year is a lack of workers to fill needed jobs. MTN's Alexia Gallo was at the conference in Helena to find out what's being done to fix the issue.
The economic growth in Montana featured strong hiring and falling unemployment rates, which may be good to some, but may also be bad for businesses trying to grow.
I think the big challenge has been for businesses who are trying to grow and who are seeing the number of qualified applicants drop precipitously and have had to actually make some very painful adjustments.
The unemployment rate for the state of Montana sits at about 3.4%. That rate is 2.8% for Lewis and Clark County. Local Montana businesses are struggling to find employees, but where there is tech, there is economic growth.
Tech is not universal throughout the state, but in those areas where tech has a presence, those tend to be the faster growing parts of the state.
Half of all the popular jobs right now on Indeed are tech jobs. Barkey's research shows that 63% of the Gen Z population wouldn't take a construction job even if it paid above $100,000. Yet many are still moving to Montana to get away from expensive cities.
And the Mountain West is really where all the action is in terms of growth. It used to be California. California's gotten very expensive. People are leaving California. People refer to the Mountain West as the third coast. Those employers, if they're smart, are going to wake up and realize that they have to do more than just post their job ads. They have to start talking to younger people to really dispel that whole myth of what those kind of jobs, what the future of those jobs is, because I think the future is very bright.
For MTM News, I'm Alexi Guayo.
Now, the research group will continue its statewide tour tomorrow with another session in Great Falls.
Well, from traditional television and radio broadcast to all the different avenues of social media, there are a lot of ways to keep up with what's going on.
Now, the Scripps News Literacy Project is a nationwide effort from our parent company to educate local students through hands-on experience. Well, last night we brought you a story produced by 6 local students, and tonight Q2's Mitch Laggy joins us to tell us how it all came together. Mitch.
Well, Russ and Jeanelle, the group of young journalists asked the question, how do first responders take care of their mental health? And just like that, we were off to track down professionals who can answer the question. Here's how 6 students from Billings Central and Senior High learned how TV news is made and a bit about news literacy along the way.
Our teacher brought this to us. I just thought, wow, this is like so cool. Like not everyone in school gets to do this, and I think that it was really awesome that I got to be a part of this.
We're 20 days away from the deadline. Camille, Haley, Ronally, Savannah, Marley, and Faith all meet the Q2 team for the first time.
Honestly, this is kind of like a weird experience because this does not happen every day. Like, I never thought I'd be in the Q2 building helping you guys with a project. Like, this is an adult thing.
We decided to ask first responders how they deal with the trauma of their day-to-day jobs and learned the importance of going to the source.
Experiencing what you go through to like talk to people and like film and everything, like editing, all that, everything you guys go through, it's real. It's like, it's really cool to see that that's actually happening.
As production started moving along, the team made real-world connections with the skills they learned in school.
It's really cool that I've gotten this opportunity because I've gotten to actually implement some of the things that I've learned here at Q2, which is super fun.
I've enjoyed like working with everybody and getting to know new people, seeing what it's like in a more professional environment rather than the classroom. I've learned a lot.
And we may have inspired a change in career goals.
Working with Q2 has definitely opened my eyes to like what I want to do in the future. and maybe change my plans. Originally I was planning on double majoring in English and history and then teaching at the high school level. But now I'm into it seems like journalism and doing this kind of news stuff. It brought a whole different kind of light to what was going on in my community and area.
And out of the 6 students, 4 of them are planning to go to college for journalism. I sense a bright future ahead for all of them. To see the story that they helped produce, head to ktvq.com. Russ and Jeanelle.
All right, thanks so much, Mitch, and good work on that project.
Sure. Well, there's more news from across our state on the MTN 9 o'clock news. After weeks of debate, the controversial condos in downtown Missoula got the thumbs up last night, but many residents giving that decision a thumbs down. Join Jeanelle for the statewide MTN news on the CW.
But first, on tonight's 5:30 news, the coronavirus count reaches 5 here in the U.S. and has taken more than 100 lives in China. We have the latest on the efforts to stop it.
And in sports, Q2's Athletes of the Week helped pave the way for girls wrestling to become a high school sport in Montana. Scott will share their story.
And coming up in weather, we're getting ready for a rather unsettled weather pattern. Your next batch of moisture already starting to make its way into Missoula. We'll tell you what it means for buildings coming up in a few more minutes.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 5:30 news on Q2, Montana's news leader.